Right, we are live and we're also live on YouTube. So welcome YouTube to the mastermind. This is a weekly mastermind that I do for all my subscribers and all my good people. Oh, hang on. YouTube. So welcome hang on. YouTube. Get some feedback now. This is a weekly mastermind that I do for all my subscribers. Right, let's try that. There we go. Got a lot of tech, haven't you? Right, I'll tell you what I'll do as well. Have you seen my lights in the background? I got these lights last week. Look at that. I thought it'd be a bit brighter than that. I thought I wanted one of those bougie backgrounds, where it's sort of like a dark front and then everything behind you is kind of lit up. It's not quite getting there, but it's not too bad. I'm a bit overexposed. I've got a big light on there and it's a little bit overexposed on my head. In fact, tell you what, I'm going to turn that off. How's that? Any better? That's better. Okay, that's better. Right. Okay. Welcome to the mastermind. I'm John McLauchlan, and what we do in this mastermind is I answer questions that come in from people, and you can come in and chime in live. I know a lot of people like to submit the questions, but I'm going to open it up to a wider audience next week as well. So there's lots of things going on right now. If you see my podcast and all the kind of good stuff, there's plenty of stuff available to have a look at. So let me know what you want to see, what you want to know, what you want to learn. Oh, hang on. Look at this. Why is it gone all blurred? Hang on. You got all the tech, haven't you? Right. Well, sorry about that, but it's blurred. Right. Well, we'll carry on. Right. So I've got some questions come in, and the good questions and the questions that a lot of people kind of ask. And the first one's from Tess. How do you find your way online? Okay. That's it. That's the question. Okay. So how do you find your way? I would imagine it's like, how do you find your way as a beginner when you first start? Okay. The best way to get started is, first of all, understand the business model that you're in. Okay. And understand the business. All right. Next thing is, who is your target audience? Who are those people that you're talking to? Because when you understand the people that you're talking to and you understand their pain points and what they're going through, even if you're a beginner, you can still offer help and advice and mentorship for those people who are just getting started, if you're just getting started as well. So understand their pain points and then just tell people what you did. The easiest way, I talk about this kind of quite on a quite regular basis about just documenting your journey. So how do you find your way? What happens? Usually what happens is you'll you'll be documenting your journey. You'll think you'll be talking to nobody, and somebody will reach out and they'll say, actually, you know what you said in this particular video, I kind of quite like. Can you just tell me more about that? Okay. And your audience will determine who you eventually become. Okay. That might sound a bit strange, but what you'll do is you'll develop your own strengths and you'll get to find what your superpower really is. Okay. So how do you find your way? When you first get started, you just keep going. That's how you find your way. You just keep going. Sometimes you'll be shooting out like a shotgun approach. I'm doing these videos or I'm doing this marketing strategy and I'm not even sure if it's working. Okay. Then what usually happens is you get a result, and that result can be from whatever. And usually what people do is they run with the results that they've had. Okay. So if somebody does a video campaign or a video and it goes really well and they get results with it, then their brain goes, okay, video, good. Okay, video, good. Go and do more video. If they do email or something, doesn't really work, then your brain anchors that feeling with don't do that, do more of what's good. Okay. And over time you'll develop it. So the way to find your way online is just keep going regardless of whether you think you're making progress, whether you think people are interested in what you want to do, just keep going, okay? Because it has a big knock-on effect. Because people are always watching. I always say this. But people are always watching. People always watch from the sidelines. If you're starting from scratch, people don't know who you are, so they want to get to know who you are. So they go, well, is this person real? Is this person genuine? Is what they're saying real, or are they just scripting it all? Okay. So it takes time for that. And it takes time to get them to know who you are. And when they get to know who you are, then they'll come out the dark. Then they'll start knocking on your door. Then they'll start liking your posts. And then they'll reach out to you with for advice, and then they'll become a lead and eventually a customer. And it's up to you to find out how they became a customer and how they became a lead, which then kind of models the person that you become as a business owner. So how do you find your way? Just keep going and just go through the process. And the other thing as well is just have the faith that you can do. Anybody can do this business. It's dead easy. It's dead easy. The trouble is most people just don't give it long enough. They just don't give it long enough to get that momentum going, and remember, it's not just about you learning your skills, it's about your audience getting to know who you are as much as it is about you. Okay, so that's the thing. So hopefully, Tess, that let me know if that helped. Quite happy to explain it in a different way. So let me know. So next one, do you need a sales funnel? Let me tell you a story about that. Going back to about 2005, I think it was, I started my karate club. I don't know if you can see, you can't quite see them. Got look, little pictures on the back there. Me doing a bit of karate, so there we go, bit of social proof. So I started doing a karate club, and I did it with a friend of mine. And what we wanted to do was start this club, and we were asked to start it by a member of a community. He had a community center, and he wanted some kids to kind of little boisterous kids, didn't really have a lot of leadership. So they said to us, "Can you start a karate club?" So we said, "Yeah." So what we did, we printed off loads of, I think it was A5 flyers. We designed some flyers, real basic, um, and started putting them through people's letterboxes. And I remember I used to go out with a bag of flyers, we 5 or 10,000 at a time, put them up, hand deliver them, and my phone eventually, after about an hour or so, would start ringing, and I'd answer it. Say, "Oh, I've just had one of your flyers. Can you give me some more information?" Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you give them the dates because it will be on the flyer. You just talk to them. They again, people getting to know if you're a real person, if you're actually the person behind the phone, and people would turn up, and we would introduce them to maybe a taster session, and then they would, okay, do you like the session? Yeah, it was great. Yeah, do you want to sign up? Yeah, great. Okay, here's the form. We'll see you next week. And it was as simple as that. There was no sales funnel there. There was nothing. It was a very kind of traditional method that we had. And in terms of the online business, and then this is something else I want to kind of touch on. Do you need a sales funnel? So there's a question there is, have you got a sales funnel? Are you worried about the process? Are you worried about the tech? Or have you got another method that you use to attract people to you? And this is the thing, a lot of people have their own methods that work. So just because someone's saying, get a sales funnel, get an autoresponder, do all the usual thing, if you've got a method that already works and it works for you, and it's something unconventional, but it works, keep doing it. Okay. And then what you'll do, if you're looking to scale your business, or if you're looking to, increase turnover, whatever you want to do, then you will find ways to do that. What I mean is the old, if you remember, people used to go around again, leaflets or putting things on vehicles, or talking to people in the street, or putting those little notices in supermarkets. All those things work, and they still work. Okay, if you go into the supermarket today, you'll see a corner with a notice board with all kinds of, I've got this for sale, I've got that for sale, business opportunities, all kinds of things, window cleaning rounds. It still works. Okay. Um, so if you've got a method that works for you, continue to do it, but also be mindful of the fact that sometimes with manual processes, it's difficult to scale. And the reason we use things like sales funnels and autoresponders is because not only are people used to it, but it also allows us to scale. And if we can scale and we can become if we can leverage our time, which is what these tools are about, then we can develop a lifestyle. Okay, if we choose to. Okay, so that's where we're at. So do you need a sales funnel? Depends. Okay, but I would say yes for this business to maximize your efficiency. Okay. Let me know if that helped. Um, okay, what would you say is the most effective marketing strategy? Well, tell me this, what are you good at? What do you like doing? What resonates with you, not as a business owner, not as, just as a human being, what do you like doing? Okay. Another little story. Let me have a quick slurp, excuse me. Quick story. I was in the high street about 20 years ago, maybe even longer, maybe 25 years ago, maybe even longer than that. Anyway, I went into the high street. I was outside of a camera shop and I saw this huge, great big broadcast camera, great big thing mounted on your shoulder, cost about two, £3,000. Uh, and I thought, and I just looked at it and I went, wow, that that's me. That's me doing camera work. Um, and it was like an epiphany moment. And from that day on, videos became the thing for me. It was like I could do videos, and I could do videos on the karate website, so I could introduce people, and I could do all sorts. I can do these, and it was like, wow, this is fantastic, and that's what I did. So, what is the most effective marketing strategy? It's the one that resonates with you. It's the one that resonates with you. And if you're slightly worried, what you've got to be careful of is when you're a beginner is that going outside your comfort zone is going to kind of worry you a little bit. So if you've never done, let's say if you've never done video before, doing email marketing is more strategy. It's not really, doesn't really take you out your comfort zone. When you actually get in front of a camera and you press record, a lot of people that can be quite intimidating. Okay. So you've got to differentiate between going outside your comfort zone and and resonating with what you want to do. Okay. And what always resonates with what you want to do is the most effective thing for you because you'll excel at it. And, if you're in business and you're not passionate about what you're doing, if you're selling, I don't know, there we go, there's a prop, selling pens, okay? You make a lot of money with it, but it's just a pen. It's just a pen, okay? Do something that you're passionate about. You're going to get up whether it works or not, okay? And that's what I would say when it comes to the most effective marketing strategy. Do what resonates with you. Okay. Um, Again, let me know if this is helping. Um, they're all good questions, and ultimately, when you boil everything down, the answer to most of people's questions is just get out there and just do it. Just get out there and market your stuff. Get out there and talk to people online. Get amongst the people and talk to them. And the more you do it and the more consistent you are, the more feedback you're going to get from the people, and the more people are going to get to know who you are. And this is something else I always say. When you first start online, a lot of people are under the misconception that it's going to be quick and easy. Okay. Because everything, I won't say everything, but a lot of things maybe you made me jump there, Michael, when you came on. A lot of things online are sold as quick and easy. So what you're doing for people is you're setting that perception of things are quick and easy. And when it isn't quick and easy, people go, well, I've either been missold, or I don't trust my upline, or I don't trust the person that's told me it's going to be quick and easy, because it's not. So if you just get out there, I mean, I had a question today. Uh, Somebody was asking me a question on YouTube, and he was talking about, why do you say it takes 3 months to build this business? And it was an email marketing type business. And I said, look, if I tell you my stats in my back office of making sales with this particular email thing, I won't say what it is, but it took me 3 weeks to get my first sale. Okay. And then it took me about another 3 weeks to get another sale. Then it took about 2 weeks, then about a week. And then the momentum started to build up and I started to get regular sales when I was emailing consistently. And what I said to people, and what I said to this guy is that if you set your sights on 3 months, so you're building your business for 3 months and you get rid of the thought about making money because it has a big reverse effect, which actually puts you forward. So forget about making money. Think about refining your skills, putting the money back into refining your skills, and put your mind in the mind of your audience. Think about that because the money will come as a result. But when people concentrate on the money, nothing happens because they're constantly going, why am I not making any money? Why am I so rubbish? Why my audience not listening to me? What's happening? Is it a scam? So if you just reverse it, it has a big knock-on effect. Okay, so I hope that kind of makes sense for a lot of people. And I think somebody said it recently. I think it was Gary Vee who said, one of the big secrets of marketing is just take money out of the equation. Just take money completely out of the equation. And when you're talking to your audience, give people solutions, but don't talk about the money. Okay, don't dangle that carrot because it destroys people in the end because all they can do is concentrate on that carrot. And how many people, almost parrot fashion, just talk about $10,000 a month? I mean, I've heard that for years. Okay, and there was a lot of people who do $10,000 a month. But you know what? For a lot of people who I talk to on a day-to-day basis, an extra 500 or $1,000, $2,000 a month is going to make the world of difference for most people. And it's not about the money. It's all about developing skills and resonating with your audience, ultimately. Um, and the money comes as a result. Okay. Excuse me a second. Been doing videos most of the day. I'm a bit dry. Oh, hi, Michael. Hope you're well. If you want to come on your video, if you want to put your video on, you can do that or ask me a question. I've got one or two questions that I've just answered. So, um, yeah, I mean, that really is it. And what I want to say as well is when you're new, if somebody comes on and says, okay, you need to do this and you need to do it this way. You remember the old days of the online business where you would call somebody on the phone, you'd read from a script. Okay. How awful is that when you're reading from a script? Because it's not you. Okay. And ultimately, if you can show people who you are, warts and all, the vulnerable side, I always say if you can be vulnerable on camera and if you can be vulnerable in front of people, that's when you start to make traction. That's when people start to understand and they see you for who you are. Okay. And back in the old days of the online business world, we'd be dressed in suits, and ties, and we'd all be, well, hair was always a bit sort of, but we'd all be very businesslike. Okay. And what you've got there is a veneer. Hello, my name is John McLauchlan. Nice to meet you. Very, very good. Here's the training for today. Okay. Instead of, right, right, who's a bit knackered today? You know, right. Can we really sort of get to know our audience and talk to them on a kind of deeper level? And that's what you want to be doing is using your own persona and your own traits in the way that you would talk to a family friend or a friend, you know. And when you do things like emails, that's the same kind of thing you want to be doing as well. And just again, be vulnerable, expose yourself, not yourself. Okay, let's just rewind that. You don't expose yourself, but expose your character and let people know who you are. So someone said to me the other day, you know, do your email subscribers know this about you? Do they know that about you? Do they know about you? Do they know you like doing a bit of fishing? Or do they know that you work a lot? And that kind of thing. So it's all about just telling people who you are and doing things your way. And just because someone does a marketing method a specific way doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And this is something else a lot of people do is they mimic a lot of folks and you'll see it all the time. And I know Gary Vee's been mimicked. And as soon as you start to mimic somebody or copy what they do or copy their character traits, the character traits that they've developed over time, it discredits you. Okay, so you see a lot of people when they're doing transitions with video, okay, they put the hand over the lens. Okay, see you later. Boom, like that. And one of the common ones I saw recently was Nick Nimmin. Okay, we're going to talk about this and we're going to talk about it right now. Okay, and that's his introduction, that's his hook, and he goes on. Now it works for Nick because Nick developed it. But then when Joe Blogs down the road, who's just started doing a bit of videoing, does it for himself, it's like, no, you're not being yourself. You've got to be yourself. You're not Nick Nimmin. Okay, you've got to be yourself. And let me tell you, when you first start doing marketing, you are going to think that you've got nothing of value to share. Okay. You're not going to want to do videos. You're not going to want to, turn that video camera on and you're going to think, oh, I sound absolutely terrible. Okay. But as I always say, you've only got one opportunity to be really bad on camera because as you progress, as you get better, as you become more comfortable behind the camera, as Gary Vee did. Remember Wine Library TV? I did a blog post on my blog, and I showed the first episode of Wine Library TV, and actually it was quite good because Gary was being himself. And then as it progressed, he became even more comfortable behind the camera, and it developed into what Gary is. Um, and just do the same. So your audience, I'll tell you this, are going to be far more, they're going to resonate more with somebody who's behind the camera who's having a go. And you see people going, you know what? The video was terrible, but he had a go and fantastic. And then your audience see that progression and they say, you know what? You seen that guy there 3 months ago, he could hardly speak on camera. Now look at him. Okay. He's doing videos every single day and I've got loads of respect for him. Let's do some business or her. Okay. And that's it. That's the way it works. There's no secret to marketing online. Okay. There's no real secret. It's just a case of do your thing. Okay. Do your thing. Get on, get your stuff out there. Whether it's good or whether you think it's good or whether you think it's bad, get it out there and improve and constantly think, what does my audience want? What are my audience resonating with? And how can I give them more value? Because unfortunately, most people just think about themselves. And this is why I say remove that income target. As business owners, yes, we need to know that we're using a business model that's going to pay us. That's just common sense, okay? And we need to know our numbers. But ultimately, give the value to your audience. Don't look at yourself. Why aren't I getting results? Why aren't I making the money? Why aren't I getting any likes on my video that it took me 3 hours to do? Okay, just get it out there and then do the next one and do the next one, do the next one. And little story for you. Um, as you know, I'm involved with a funnel building software, and those people are 6 and 7 figure earners, and the two 7 figure earners that own the business and own the company. One of the guys is called Mike, and Mike did a video every single day for 12 months. That was his thing. Okay, it was like, that sort of time when you're building a business and you put a line in the sand and you go, that's it, I'm not going back anymore. I'm going to go forward, and that's what Mike did. And Mike is a military man, quite fairly quiet, very competent, but he did a video every single day for 12 months. And after the 12 months, he had no sales. He had no results. And what would most people do? What would you do watching this right now? What would you do if that happened to you? Would you be able to sustain it for 12 months? So the story is that what Mike did is he carried on, and 12 months after, his business was developing over 100,000 a year. It was a 6 figure business. Okay. And that's just the power of consistency. It's an extreme case, and it's quite a well documented case. But now Mike, is a 7 figure earner, and is continuing on that upward trajectory of doing extremely well. So I don't care who you are or what you do or what you think you are or what you think you're capable of. Anybody Anybody who's anybody can build an online business because in the 17 years I've been doing this, I've seen a lot of people come and go, and I've seen a lot of people who you think, they're kind of borderline, do extremely well. Okay. You don't need to, all you need to be is consistent. Okay. And that's it. Right. So, Tess, I hope that answered your question, how to find your way online. Next question was, how do you need a sales funnel? So really, the answer, I would say the answer is always going to be yes in this business, but don't stress if you can't afford one, or if you're not really in a position to, if you're not technically minded, then there's so many things you can do to overcome these things, though. There's no reason why anybody should be struggling right now. And one of the things I do, funnel builder, $25 a month, for a sales funnel to get all the pages, everything that you need, $25 a month. Um, it's crazy for unlimited funnels and unlimited domains. Okay. And you get all the training you need as well. And what would you say is the most effective marketing strategy was the third question. And again, do something that resonates with you. And just keep moving forward. Okay. Right. Any other questions? I'll be on I'll be on half an hour. Michael, any questions from yourself? So what I'm going to do is next week, I'm doing these sessions on a Friday, and I'm kind of conscious of the fact that most people wind up for the weekend on a Friday. And also, these are going out at 7 p.m. UK time. And I know a lot of people, I've always had this contention of trying to cater for the good people in the UK and the good people in the US. So from next week, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be opening this up to a bigger audience. It's going to be on a Wednesday, and I'm considering whether to do. I did two sessions before, where I did a session 7 p.m. UK, 7 p.m. US. So we'll see how it kind of how it goes when I'm constantly just doing calls. But what I'm going to be doing is I'll be letting you know via email of what we're going to be doing, and also the format as well going forward. There is so much to be had, and there's so much to be learned, and it's so valuable to have these live sessions where you can come and ask a question, get your questions answered, because ultimately with anything in life, it's just the little things that slip us up. It's not the big decisions that we have to make that, stop us in our tracks. It's like, oh, how do I just do this? How do I get people how do I put together an autoresponder and connect it to my landing page? Little things, okay? And that can lead to much bigger things as well. Okay, so just keep going forward. And the other thing I would say as well, one thing I learned this week from journaling is how consistent or how inconsistent we can be when we don't track what we're doing. Okay, so as you know, I've got a journaling app called Let's Goal, and you can journal, you can do all kinds of things, you can monitor your diet, you can do all kind, but the journaling for me is what really works. And I can put in there, okay, sent an email, did XYZ video to my list or whatever. And then you realize sometimes you come back and you go, I haven't done an email for like a day or 2 days, or sometimes, the last video shorts I put out was like 6 days ago. So it keeps you on track. So it's so important to keep yourself on track with whatever you're doing, whether you just write something down or you get the actual app. Because a lot of the time in this business is because if you're constantly thinking about business and you're thinking about how I can serve my audience better, sometimes you get those ideas and you expedite them in your head, but not in reality. Okay, so you think, oh, I'm going to do a video on this. That'd be a really good idea. So you write it down and you think you're being productive. And that's something else a lot of people do is they think they're being productive when they're not. Okay. So you've got to be really careful that you actually get your stuff and you put it out to an audience. Yeah, you deliver it to your audience. Okay, so that's that. So yeah, look out for the emails for next week. And I'll be putting it out on social media as well about this session because I know a lot of people can really benefit from it. Okay, so yeah, any questions that you've got, just reach out to me in the usual way. Um, you've got my email, so you can submit a question via email for next week, and we'll talk soon. All right, bye for now.